I thought that we showed some good signs. The only good news is last year when we played Campbellsville, it was kind of the same. We had 24 turnovers and whatever assists. We couldn't make a shot. We looked discombobulated. It was kind of the same. And then we came out and started playing a little bit better. The thing with a game like this, I think Pikeville came out, which every team we play does, with a high energy level, aggressiveness. They were pretty big kids. I mean, they were seniors. And they banged our freshmen around. And if we learn from this, this was a great game to play. If we don't learn from this, we got to do it some other way. I got to get them to understand. And that means probably got to get meaner, which I don't like to do. Just learn. You know what just happened, and let's get better. And it wasn't just this guy, that guy. I mean, right up and down the line at every position. I mean, I just couldn't take seeing it. A free ball and their guy just pushing us out of the way and grabbing it. You can't. We don't win that way. My teams, we get that ball. So, questions?
John, what did you think of Brandon?
I thought he played pretty well. I mean, he's got to get a feel for how we're playing. He's got to get a understand, like we start the game. You can't just drive in the first play of the game. I mean, you got to get everybody involved. He's got a green light, so get everybody involved. When you see spots, go take your plays. But what he does and what I like is he has a fight. When he saw we were dying, he just took it and drove it. Like, if these guys, I'm going to do it. So at times, I'm going to let them just go. If no one else wants to do it, go do it all. But we can't win that way. We've got to have him run our club. He's a scoring guard who needs to run our club. We only had 7 assists. Now, part of that was because we couldn't make an open shot. We had all kind of open shots and missed them all. And this is a team that, you ask me, that's one of our strengths, is that we shoot the ball. But we got to do it with numbers on our back and people in the seats. We got to do it then. Offensive rebounding, that's got to be one of our main things. I mean, we've got to be a team that really goes in offensive rebounds. And today, again, we had some of our guards got them, but you're not going to get them in a real game. A two-guard or a point guard are not going to offensive rebound in a real game. You got to go back. But this is one of those games that I'll go back and watch the tape, and we just got to start figuring out. We changed a little bit of the transition for this game because I felt more comfortable, and I do now, on what we're trying to do to make it simple. We did get to the rim and drew fouls, which is what the dribble drive is supposed to do. But we still, I didn't see the fight. But these kids don't understand. They don't get it yet. And, it's not, the advantage we had last year is that they could go back to practice, and we have enough guys that if you didn't play, you got dunked on or scored on. That's what you miss. So then you think you're working hard, and you come out to a guy that's really working, and it shows. So, we've got to do some things in practice. I said, I've got to make these practices rougher. We've got to get more physical without fouling. But we got to get more physical. Guys got to accept it, and figure out. The small lineup wasn't particularly good today. I mean, if there's no energy, you can't play small guys. Doesn't work. So we were better with one of those big guys in there with the smaller guys, and one of them's got to come off the bench, just how it is. Unless they want to really go in there and fight and go crazy, then you can play that kind of lineup.
Matt, is there anything going on with the walk-ons or any other way to add more depth for practice?
Well, here's the problem. I'm not going to put guys on there just to put them on. And if I don't feel comfortable with anybody, we'll stay how we are. And it is an issue, but I'll be honest with you. I had this same situation in 95, 96. Exactly the same. I think I had 8 guys on scholarship and 4 walk-ons. Something like that, if I remember back. And we got to play. That team was a little bit more of a veteran team. We got to play together better. I mean, we just trying to figure each other out and, create for each other more. You're not just running this to just so you can go get something. You're doing it to see if you can get something. If not, figure out where your teammates are. And you know, we're not there yet. This is gonna be a daily chore. The biggest thing is, are we in shape? I'm not sure we are. Are we physical enough? I know we're not. We're not tough enough. We don't play vicious enough. Do we find each other on the court? We don't. Are we skilled enough? Yeah, this is one of my more skilled teams, no question about it. So they should be playing together better. So I think some of it is we're just going to have to force it. And in practice, if they pass on a guy, we stop. Nope, you need to pass that. Pass the ball. You know, if they're not being physical enough, we've got to have some remedies for that.
John, obviously you guys were shooting better free throws tonight. Is that something you've been working a lot on in practice, or the guys are just better free throw shooters this year?
Well, we've been working on three-point shooting too. We were 1 for 11 from the three. And if I look at them, I'm going to tell you, they were, of the 11, I don't think anybody was guarded. So you're talking about a horse shot that we were 1 for 11 for. When I watch the tape, I'll make sure of that. But I bet you 9 of them were wide open. But what you want them to be is confident and go in there and get fouled so that you want to go to the line. Darius goes 11 for 12. Brandon goes 9 for 10. Duran goes 8 for 10. Well, that's because they're driving the ball and they're getting fouled. You know, at halftime, I'm like, why do they have so many more shots than us? Because we kept getting fouled. And that's why we shot 50 fouls and they shot 20. But again, I look at us defensively. We didn't talk enough. We didn't help enough. You know, when a team drives down the length of the court and shoots a layup, there's something wrong right now. And again, it's what happens when you're trying to play all young guys. You know, last year we were deeper. We had more guys, and this makes it even more important that guys understand how they got to play. And then it's our job as coaches. Let's just come up with stuff to look at our weaknesses and let's get better with it. You know, I'll go back and watch this tape, and I'm going to have a clear picture of, okay, where do we need to take this?
Now, that viciousness, is that just being young? Or, I mean, can you manifest that in
Oh,
a
yeah.
young team?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely you can. What you have to have is a player understanding that it's one of two things. He outworks me or I outwork him. This isn't about cool. This isn't about style points. Either he outworks me or I outwork him. So now we got to go to practice and make it that way. I thought we were, but obviously not to the level we needed because, again, we had guys that were getting outworked, and it's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay to start the game the way we started the game. You know, and we could have been down 10-0. And we did some good things. I mean, there were things in there that I liked. But again, where we are right now, what I told them in that room, it's November 1st, guys. As long as you don't make excuses for how you played, as long as you accept you got outworked, you got out-toughed, you got out-hustled, as long as you'll accept that you did not make each other better offensively, you almost worked against each other. As long as you'll accept you would not go offensive rebound, as you accept that we can work on it. But if you want to come in here and have excuses, then we got problems. But I think they all know. And you got to give, Pikeville credit. They came in and they weren't afraid, and they had a veteran team. They had some tough physical guys, and they were like, bring it. You know, nothing to lose, throwing balls, and they did a great job.
John, so what did you think of the leadership you got from Darius and DeAndre tonight? What you wanted, not what you wanted?
I just think that we're not where we need to be. I think Darius did some good things, and there was other times he just stopped playing. Well, you can't do that with this freshman because they are going to stop playing. I didn't think DeAndre in the first half had the energy he's always played with. Well, if he doesn't have the energy, we got problems. The hustle points we had today were the lowest I probably had in 4 or 5 years for a team. The first half was the lowest hustle points that I've ever seen one of my teams have. We got beat to everything. It was 28. Usually a bad game will be 38, 42. A good game will be 50. If we get up to 60, we're up 25 at half. We were at 28. Second half was 36. So when you put those two numbers together, that's one of the lowest I've seen my teams do. And that's where we are. The other team outworked us. Simple. I don't care who they are. You play a team and they play harder than you, you're losing. And you're not going to look good. And you can't have one or two guys doing it and then two guys stop playing like it doesn't matter. You can't. This is a team sport. It's 5 guys becoming a fist. 5 guys together. One heartbeat. We all know what we're doing. We're all responsible to each other. That takes time. And, you know, this group, we're going to have to learn it because we go have a home game against an NCAA tournament team, go on the road and play 4 games. Oh, my gosh. Going to be interesting. So we're going to have to, in a hurry, get some guys up to speed. Thanks, guys.